Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I am probably a half a minute early, so I'm going to wait for people to hop on here and then we'll have a little chat. I got to turn down the volume on my iPad. Good morning. Welcome to MJ Shaded Inkers. My name is Mary Jo Snyder, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and you are watching me live on my Sunday Live with MJ. Hi, Jane. Welcome this morning. I'm just going to get myself all ready here on my iPad so that I can see all of your comments. Facebook has been doing some crazy things with comments. So I'm not really sure why that's happening, but I'm going to do the best I can with being able to keep track of what you guys are saying. Hi, Julie. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Lori. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Mary. Sorry for the zoom in on my face. I was just putting my iPad in front of me there. So I'm super excited. We're going to be using the Springtime Joy. Good, my lighting from the window in front of me, the Springtime Joy stamp set. So I'm so excited this morning. I've made 3 cards and a very simple 3D project with some cute candy that you can find in your local grocery store, or I actually found it at Walgreens, so it's really cute. Hi, Tammy, welcome. So I am super excited. We got blends that we're using today. We're going to do some coloring. It's just going to be a fun class. Hi Judy. I do have a few reminders. Those of you that qualified for my celebration, if you purchased during the months of January and February, I have been cutting kits frantically to get them in the mail because our class is next Saturday. So those should be ready to mail out on my lunch hour tomorrow during work. I will take my lunch hour and head to the post office and get those out. So no matter how long it takes me to get those packaged tonight, I'm going to send those out. My team also qualifies for being a part of that class as well. So it's been quite an eventful prep time for me of 30 plus kits, so it's pretty exciting. My team did amazing during celebration. We added on 4 team members, which is super exciting, and they just did phenomenal. I just am so proud of my team. So when I have a class like this to honor my customers, I try very hard to also include my team in that as well. And as our team grows, it makes a little bit more cutting for me. I think I cut I don't know, I had to do 2 stitched rectangles and 180 of each of those on top of other things. It's just crazy. So I have a friend out there that watches weekly that I may take up on an offer she had in the past of just cutting paper for me. I have an extra machine, so I'll be in touch with that person soon when I have a large class like this so that she can assist me and she can maybe participate in the classes for free. So it's time to get an assistant, I think. So a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, I saw a couple other people jump on. Hi, Roslyn. I'm so happy that you all are here this morning. So before I bore you with a whole bunch of conversation, I am going to take a sip of my coffee. I did decide to get a second cup this morning. Usually when you guys laugh when I have water instead of coffee, it's because I've already met my quota before I even have gone live. I allow myself 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and maybe if I have to venture out later, I get another cup from Dunkin'. Gotta love Dunkin'. Hi, Lisa. So, a sip of coffee in my awesome Mickey Mouse mug from my sister. And I'm going to point you down to the table. Hi, Sharon. I believe it's your birthday today. Happy birthday. I'm going to flip the camera, point you down to my workstation, and hopefully we're in a good position. If not, we'll have to do some shifting around, and hopefully Sandy loves Dunkin' as well. Hopefully I'm not gonna jostle you too much. I may have to zoom in every now and then to when we do the coloring portion of this, but let's this is the host code for this week. Purchase $35 or more in my online store between March 7th, which is today, through Friday, March 12th. You will receive all 4 make and takes in the mail, minus stamped images. So you would need this kit or this stamp set or another Easter set, or you could use a stamp set that works for you that you already have on hand. But that's, you know, just an added perk for placing an order using this host code. Looks like we're a little crooked, so bear with me a moment. I don't know if that made it better or worse, but we're going to do our best to try, and I'm just going to move this. Close your eyes. I don't want you guys to get dizzy. So hopefully I'm okay. It looks like maybe it's just this. Maybe I'm making it worse. I don't really know, because I'm not looking at my phone. I'm looking at what I got going on. All right, hold on. There. I won't move it anymore, I promise. Okay, so this host code is also in the description of my video, so you can find that there where you can just copy and paste it into your... Sorry, I'm watching the replay. Like, there's a delay on my iPad. It's so funny. Sorry, I just kind of probably made you all dizzy. But this host code, again, is in the description of my video, so you have it there for easy access. You can cut and paste it into the in your order in my online store, so it's handy there. So, all right, we'll set that aside. Again, very briefly, Paper Pumpkin, you get these free stencils in the March kit, as well as a Stampin' Sponge, and you have to subscribe to the March kit on or before March 10th to qualify to get that kit. So it's an additional free product in the Paper Pumpkin kit because March is their anniversary month. So that is that announcement. Again, the people that qualified for my March 14th class for purchasing during celebration, so it's a virtual celebration, that is March 14th at 1 p.m. You will be invited to a private Facebook group, and I will be sending out your make and takes this week, and there'll be special drawings, fun little trivia, just a lot of fun stuff, and there will be an amazing thank you gift in your package as well. So be sure to accept that invite when I send that out to you. So today, obviously you can see, now this is the stamp set. I've already shown you that, but you can see I have blends here. A lot of the blend colors are the in colors from the 2020-2022 in color series, which is Bumblebee, Cinnamon Cider, Just Jade, Magenta Madness, and Misty Moonlight. I've also incorporated Pumpkin Pie, one of the shades, I believe it's the light shade of Granny Apple Green, and the light Smoky Slate, which is something I need to replace because it's getting really low on ink, and I always have my color lifter. Since Bumblebee does not have a blends, I've incorporated a blending pen or a blending brush. What are they called? Blender pen. So I'm going to use that with the ink pad, and there's some caution you have to use when you're using regular basic white paper rather than watercolor paper or shimmer white paper. But we're going to use that versus using a coordinating color that might be like So Saffron or one of the other yellow tones. I think even Crushed Curry is a close match as well, but I don't have a blends in that color either. So these are, excuse me, the Designer Series papers in the 6x6 family pack of the 2020-2022 in colors. We are going to feature this paper in our projects today for the most part. There is one project where I'm incorporating a little smidge of the Forever Greenery Designer Series paper because it matches the it goes very well with the Granny Apple Green piece of paper that I'm using. So again, those are the designs of that 6x6 paper that we're using today. I don't have a full pack, so I thought I'd pull this out so you could kind of get a feel for what that looks like. Excuse me. Okay, I'll set that aside. And I'm also bringing in the Dockside dies, which is interesting. The Playful Alphabet dies, you'll find there's something in there I'm going to use. The Delightful Tag Topper Punch, the Banner Triple Punch, I believe that's what it's called, or it's reversed, Triple Banner Punch. Those are both in the annual catalog as well as these die sets. And I have my white twine out, but I don't think I ever used it, but we'll see. And there's some other elements and embellishments that I'm going to be using, and I'll share those with you at that time. We're going to use Memento Tuxedo Black ink because we're using our blends. This is water-based, blends are alcohol-based, and that's what you need to use if you're using blends. We have Pumpkin Pie ink, Bumblebee ink, and Just Jade ink. So hopefully I did not forget anything. I also want to let you know that we are going to, because I am taking these cards when I'm finished to a local merchant, that's why I'm doing Easter today, because she needs some Easter cards. So I've got a pile of stuff for her that she's requested, and these cards are going to go to her as well. So I have pulled out my copyright stamp that says copyright Stampin' Up. And it is due to an angel policy. It is a policy through Stampin' Up. If you sell any of the creations that you make, your cards, your 3D projects at a craft fair, anything like that, then it is a policy, a rule that you have to have the copyright stamp somewhere on that finished project. So this is one stamp set. If you're one of those people that like to design and create and do things like that and sell at craft fairs when the times allow, I'm not sure how many of you are doing stuff like that right now, or sell on Etsy your finished cards or anything like that, or do custom orders. This is one stamp set handmade for you that does have that copyright stamp in it, and that is an angel policy and is a rule that you have to utilize that stamp on your finished projects. And that goes for demonstrators and customers alike. I researched it and talked with demo support and customer service to make sure that I was not giving false information there. It's just so people know that the products you're using are, it's copyrighted. It's Stampin' Up's product. So that's that. So that is one of the stamp sets, handmade for you, that has that copyright stamp in it. So I have mine all set because I'm going to stamp my cards when I'm done, because I'm going to package them up to go to the merchant that sells them for me. So we're going to get started. I want to also share, Jenny Eck, you won my prize patrol from last week. So you're getting the corner bouquet, brand new. This was one of the celebration products, and that paper share that I went through last week is all samplers from paper from the celebration time. So you're going to get this in the mail. If I do not have your email address or your mailing address, please drop me a private message so I can get this in the mail to you. Congratulations, and thank you so much for being a part of my Stampin' Up community. All right, let's play. I'm super excited about this. All right, so let's pull in, I don't even know what to start with. Let's start with this one. So adorable. Some of the colors may vary because I was low on paper. I actually have an order going in to get some more of this paper. So we have this cute, adorable card, and I'm going to do it in different colors. Now the product that is featured here, you're going to see this little strip of, it's actually Sahara Sand foil, and that is part of the foils in the Love You Always product suite, which we have, Lori Agassi and I have a class that we are offering, and you can order that class up until the 12th. There's 6 cards we're featuring, and it's not, there's no online class event. There will be a video of tips and tricks on how to put your cards together, and that will be exclusive YouTube video to the people that purchase this class. And there's 6 cards, and you get a set of Real Red blends for free, and a sheet of dimensionals for free. So contact us if you have questions about that class. We're happy to answer any questions. Some of you may already have red blends and may want to switch out for a different color. We are accommodating, but you do need red to finish one of the cards. So that is why we're offering that free with the class. So there's that. You can find all the details in a previous post to reserve your class with me, or you can reach out to Lori Agassi and she will assist you in registering for that class with her. So It's nice to team up and do some stuff together because then you only have half the workload. So we're going to do some stamping. Now on this, when I originally made this, I wasn't sure how I was going to put all this together. But I stamped the little bunny on a separate piece of paper and fussy cut it out, but I'm not going to do that this time. I also did that with part of the flower. I'm going to stamp it all on my square here. So this is what you need for your project. This piece of white, basic white, is cut at 2 5/8 square, so that's a square. This piece of bumblebee is cut at 2 3/4 square. You have a 1/4 strip by 5.5 of that Sahara sand foil. You have the same measurement, 1/4 by 5.5 of the bumblebee little strip there. And somewhere there is this piece of Designer Series paper, which is Magenta Madness, my favorite color from the new In Colors this past year. And that is 5.5 by 2 inches. You have, of course, your mat for your mat layer for the front of your card, which measures 5.25 by 4. So, good morning, Melissa. Hi, Anne. Please don't make me want this set. Okay, I'll do my best. No promises there, though. These little critters are so adorable. And actually, I don't know what the stamp set costs, but it can't be $20 or a little more than that. It's so adorable. And I've seen a lot of people start making cute things with it. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put this on my card front. I forced myself lately to use Tombow so that I can get more acclimated with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some Tombow to this piece of paper. Don't get me wrong, I love my Stampin' Seal, but I have like so many tubes of this Tombow that I want to make sure I'm using it. Plus it gives me the flexibility of moving that stuff around and lining it up where it needs to be. I did not tell you the card base is 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4.25. So I just scored that with my scoring tool. So that's all set. Now let's do our stamping because I do want that to dry before I get too caught up in you know, before we start coloring. So let's do our stamping. So we're going to need our cute little bunny. And we need Welcome Spring. Grab all my little blocks here. We need that adorable butterfly. There's so many sets in the catalog that have cute little butterflies in it. I was taking a look through initially when I was doing my walkthrough, the annual catalog when it first came out, and I was like, oh, look at all the butterflies in all these sets. It's just so awesome. And of course, yes, the more I see people using that new Butterfly Brilliance that everybody can get their hands on now, I've put it in my cart. We'll see if I follow through and purchase it. We'll see. So I'm stamping all of the images that I'm going to color in Memento ink. So cute. These critters are just so adorable. How could you not want to get this set, Anne? Lisa, I'm sitting here using the stamp set now and Tombow, which I don't usually use either. Yeah, you know, I am laughing hysterically at the fact that, okay, I just pulled out my Just Jade ink. Tombow and I have a love-hate relationship, and I laugh hysterically when I hear other demonstrators say the same thing. Some people absolutely love it, and they do amazing things with it. They don't have any issues whatsoever. But me, I end up could easily glue my fingers together when I'm done. But I'm trying to learn to appreciate the mini adhesives that Stampin' Up! Has to offer. So I have stamped the sentiment, as you see, in the Just Jade. I'm hoping that I'm not working off screen. Let's move this aside so we have some room. And now I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to grab my butterfly, and I want to stamp my butterfly in Bumblebee, and we'll just kind of offset that there. Totally adorable. And now we're going to set the Bumblebee ink aside. We will need that again in a few minutes, but I also want to stamp my little tulip, and I want to make sure that it's not going to be completely covered with the green grass that I'm going to cut. And that green grass is going to come from the Dockside dies, which is really cool. So we'll set all that stuff aside. We'll let that dry. Now that we have all of our stamping done, we can kind of build on some things and do some die cutting. So I did neglect to grab a piece of Just Jade scrap, so let me grab some of that out of my little bin here. Hopefully I have one that is big enough to cut out some of that grass. And it's so handy to have these scraps in these little bins. I tend to find that I actually use my scraps now that they're organized. I didn't know if you noticed behind me. I'll share that hopefully if I remember to share it. My stacks of those bins that I created using these things for all my scraps and labeling them and making them look all neat and nice, but they're just completely piled up behind me on my countertop. My husband and I can't usually be trusted with glue. Been trying though. That's so funny, Anne. Yes, Lori, I know you're a huge fan of Tombow. And Melissa, it is so handy. It's great for 3D projects too. You just have to make sure you're holding things so they adhere. But I like the fact, I'm learning to really love the fact that if I make a mistake and lay something not down uncentered, I have that little bit of freedom for a few seconds to get it lined up, which really is amazingly helpful. So I can definitely relate to why people are a little bit smitten with the Tombow glue. So these are the Dockside dies. You know, I don't think I've even used these hardly at all. I probably should use them because I'm not sure what's going to retire. But this is the grass that I'm going to use, and I'm going to cut 2 pieces from the, my business card popped out of there. It must be someone borrowed those at one point. I'm going to grab my, here's another funny story. I'm going to grab my, I probably could use my mini, but we're just gonna, because this is handy, I'm just gonna grab this real quick. So, no lie, this is all from, for the most part, look at how chewed up that is already. Brand new. I just put this, I just unwrapped this the other day, brand new, and it's already eaten up. Not to mention, this is, and it's so frustrating, but because it gets so much use, that's why it happens. This is completely, if you can see that, it's already curved. Brand new set. So you know what else is going in my cart is another set of these plates. You cannot have enough plates. It's nice to have clean plates to do your cutting and embossing. But, you know, when they get that love, that's what happens. They tend to bow and whatever, but they still work, so it's not a big deal. I'm going to pull off this first one, and then I want 2 because I kind of want to layer it to give it a little bit of dimension. Plus I'm going to trim it down a little bit because it's got like cattail on there, and I don't want it to look like it's the bunny is sitting by the river or a pond or something like that. So I'm just going to kind of alter that a little bit so we can do what we need. So I'm going to set this aside. And so you can see right here, it kind of mimics like it should be obviously Dockside, that it's near the water. So I'm just going to grab my paper snips and I'm going to just cut this one off. Just cut that off, no big deal, and cut this one off as well. I probably could keep it there, it probably would be fine, but it just doesn't go with the theme of my card. Now it just looks like some green grass, right? All right, so we are going to set that aside and assemble the rest of our card front, and then we'll do our coloring, and I've already smeared some ink on there, but that's okay. All right, we'll do our coloring. So the first thing I want to do, because I am going to pull in that triple banner punch, I want to adhere these pieces. Now, when you are using foil, it is very important to not get adhesive on the front of your foil. It's very interesting to use Tombow when you use foil because you really can't overdo it because you will mess up the shine and the shimmer on the front of that foil. So leave yourself a little bit of space. That's going to get lined up. This is kind of a technique, I guess. So you line that piece up because you're adding some little color in addition with these strips onto here, and then you're going to punch it so it kind of gives you that little effect as well. So right here, Tombow. Now this is where you have to be careful because you're putting this on top of this foil piece, and you don't want to have to move it around because you'll get that adhesive on your foil and it will not look very pretty. So, all right, so we have that all set. Now we can come in with our triple banner punch. Now, if you're unfamiliar, the triple banner punch allows you to punch at 1 inch, 1.5 inch, and 2 inches. So you can come in and you're going to feed this through at the 2 inch because it's 2 inches in width. Make sure that it's all the way through there and punch that piece out. And that creates your banner. Now I know that I cut this way too long, so what I'm going to do, because I have a little overflow there, I want to come in with my trimmer and I'm going to just cut just about 1/4 of an inch off the top because it was too long to begin with. Okay, so now it should be fine. And now we can go ahead and adhere this to the card front, and it should be pretty nice right where I need it. Again, I don't know if I told you the piece. I did tell you the measurement. It was 5.5 by 2 inches for that. Okay, so come in with your adhesive. And add that. Hi, Brandy, on baby duty. Catch replay later. Have a good day, all. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good day. Enjoy those kiddos. So there's that, all set. And now we can do our coloring and finish the layering of our grass. It's really super simple once you get everything where you want it. Now the coloring, I forgot to get a set of blends out. It looks like I used crumb cake on this bunny. So we're gonna grab our light and dark crumb cake, and I'm going to start by adding some dark just around certain spots. Like I want to be darker over here. I'm going to color the feet dark. Sorry if my head is in the camera. I'm hoping it's not. I'm going to keep it light over there. Just kind of pull some of that darker color out. And then we're going to blend out. I'm trying really hard to watch others and their techniques with coloring to learn a little bit more about shading and stuff like that. And then I'm just going to pull some of that color out, kind of blend it, because the blending part is where I struggle. Is like why are there shadows here? Why are there shadows there? So I definitely need to learn a little bit more about blending those colors. Just come out a little lighter. And then if I come in with my color lifter, I may be able to spread some of that color. I'm not really sure. I've seen people do that. Just kind of add a little bit. And I may need to come in. See, and I'm struggling lately with my Memento running. I don't know why that is. But he's turning out pretty cute. Just add a little bit more light in here. And I'm going to come in again and kind of lift that just to add just a little bit of, I don't know, kind of like a variegated color in a sense. Now for the ears, I'm just going to come in, I'm going to use the right color first, just on the top edges, and then just blend that out with the lighter. I need to do something there. Kind of cute. The black is bleeding because I don't know why. It's frustrating for me. I think I use too much ink. And when I use the color lifter, it tends to bleed out there. And I don't know if I can lift that color. But I struggle at times trying to. I can't wait to take a class. There's going to be a demonstrator offering a class so that I can learn, so that I can teach you guys a little bit better on coloring and using those techniques. Okay, so I need to grab my blender pen and my Bumblebee ink. And I'm just going to, you have to be very gently when you are, be very gentle when you're using blender pens on your regular cardstock, because it will pill the paper and start lifting it up and it will ruin everything you just did. So I literally am just pulling some ink off of the ink pad and I'm coming in and just, obviously the more you color, the more chance you have of messing up that. So when you get it colored in, leave it be. If you want lighter, like I just did this, because I wanted that leaf to show a little bit lighter, as if it were blended with a blender pen, or blender with your Stampin' Blends. And these just wipe clean, which I'm not going to do because I still have to color the flowers in her hair. So we'll come in and we will just go through the flowers and color those. And when you see that it's starting to get a little light, just go ahead and add some more ink. And you can do that variegated color just like you do like with your blends. You can blend that out as well just by the color getting lighter on your brush, if that makes sense. So there's the flowers, and then I need the Just Jade, and I'm going to do the Just Jade in light, and that is going to be, I'm going to use the blunt tip for the leaves. And aside from it smearing a little bit, which shouldn't happen, I'm just heavy-handed on certain things, that turned out pretty decent. So I still need to color the leaves here, so I'm going to grab the darker Just Jade and come in and just color those solid with the dark Just Jade blends. If you go out of the line, again, grab your color lifter and you can fix that. So now I need these pieces of grass, and these are about the perfect size to layer on top of this piece of paper. And you can layer, I think I'm going to go one a little higher so that Bunny is kind of hidden. So we're going to add our Tombow. But I don't want to cover all the leaves of the flower. So we got that going on there. and then add your other one. You do see that this can create some dimension as well. It has like little pieces that are cut. You see that okay? That you can lift and add a little dimension. So if you wanted to do another flower and actually fussy cut the flower out, you could tuck one of those right in there too. So I'm not doing anything with that 3D piece. So we're just gonna add some Tombow to the back of that. And layer that one. Now you wanna layer it so it's gonna cover like so. There you go. Now with this one, I actually cut it apart and just added another layer behind there, but I cut the ends off, which may be what I should have done here, but I think it still looks great. So this will now get layered onto here. Very important to use your blends. Do all your coloring before you adhere anything, because as you see, your blends seep through the cardstock. So there's that cute little guy, lady, whatever. And we are going to just use some dimensionals on the back of this to pop that up off of your card front. And then we, let me see what I got going on the inside. I may have stamped an additional butterfly just to tie it all together. So there is that, really pretty. And on the inside, nope, I didn't. But however, I'm going to. So let me grab my Bumblebee ink and I'm gonna add some of that color. Just tie it all in together by adding a butterfly down in the corner of each card. Just to give it a little added touch to the inside of the card. Now, since I have these going to the local merchant, I'm going to grab my Stampin' Up! Copyright, and I'm going to stamp that down on the lower portion of my card on the back side. I'm going to do the same to this one because these are both going to her today. Okay, so you just put that copyright on there, and then you can set those cards aside. Again, this is what we created. So cute. And we're all set with that. So the next card, let me put this die away so I don't wonder where it is later. We're all set with the dockside dies. All right, so the next card I'm so in love with is this card here. And I'm using almost every color, well, every color of the 2020 to 2022 in colors is in here, whether in a blend or in paper. So I'm so excited about this card. So you have 5 strips of designer series paper, all in the same pattern, and they are, I believe, 4 by 1 inch. Let me just give you that measurement. Yep, 4 by 1. So I have 2 in the magenta. I have 1 in Just Jade, 1 in Bumblebee, and 1 in Misty Moonlight. So you have those there. What are you using to hold those dies? Cheryl, do you mean, where did I just put them? This here? This piece on here, Cheryl, this is a magnetic plate. Well, it's not a magnetic plate. It's a double, it's got adhesive on the back of it. So I just keep it in its natural container or packaging. And I put a magnetic sheet so that they're not flying all off the page or whatever. So I literally take the insert. You can see the insert that the dies are originally on that have the tape on it to hold the dies. I flip it over. I put more adhesive on it, stick it to the back side of the packaging, on the inside, you know what I mean? And then I peel off the backing on these magnetic sheets and lay one in there. They're easily, you're able to cut them down real easy with an old, if you have an older trimmer, paper trimmer, you can easily cut these. So I use, or your guillotine will cut these down to size as well. These I purchased off of Amazon. I do also know that Stampin' Storage sells these. You can buy them as the heat vent covers that are in any hardware supply store like Home Depot or anything like that. So if that's what you're wondering about, those are just magnetic sheets to keep my dies in place. Easy to not lose them in a sense, as long as I put them back where they belong. So, yep. You can get, and actually, I think you can buy packs of them in 8 or 10, and they're different sizes on Amazon, and they're really inexpensive. Like, when you break it down, it's probably like $1 a piece in the package that you get. So it's really worth it if you want to keep your dies neater in their packaging. Coffee break. Okay, I have 3 strips, random, doesn't need to be any specific size. But I think they're close, 2.5 by 1.5 roughly, because those are going to be the pieces that I tear. And those are in Just Jade and a Bumblebee and Misty Moonlight. I have a piece of Basic White that is cut at 2.5 by 3.5, and that is this layer here. Magenta Madness is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 to match that piece. I have a piece of Basic White that is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and all those strips are going to layer on top of that. And of course my Magenta Madness. This is one of my favorite new in colors this year, when these in colors came out, actually last year. Love the color. It's so bright and cheerful, and we all need some cheerful colors and stuff in our lives, right? Thanks, Rosalind. Hi, Valerie. Good morning, everyone that's joining. So this is Magenta Madness, and it's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. So we have that as our card base. We are not going to adhere anything to this yet because we need to put all these pieces together first. So let's get some stamping out of the way. So the best way to do this, we are going to have to do some, and you can see Easter Joy. Those 2 stamps, they're 2 separate stamps. The Easter I got from this stamp, and the Joy I got from that stamp. So I'm going to stamp both, just kind of those words, and cut them out, and just add those to the front of this card. And of course we're using those adorable in color enamel dots. So we have some of those to use as well. So here's the part that is a little tricky for me, is do I stamp first? Probably, because I do have to add this layer. So let's kind of position our stamps. I want to stamp them, yes, in Memento black ink, because we're going to do some more coloring. So I know I need the chick stamp. And let's peel a stamp away. Set it somewhere else so I have a block. So we have that, and of course that beautiful Easter basket. Let me grab another block. So we have that. Now let's go ahead and move this out of the way so I don't drop the ink pad in it. I tend to do that sometimes, and I get completely frustrated with myself. So I want to kind of position this maybe 1/2 inch above the bottom of this piece of Basic White. That way I have room to do the coloring, and I have room to add that torn piece of Just Jade. Okay, and then we're going to add that chick. This chick totally looks like it has an attitude. Like, look at my Easter basket. Doesn't it? Look at its face. It's so stinking cute. Yes, I have an extra special attitude. Get it? I know, poor humor. All right, let's set this aside for now. Let that dry, and let's put together our, and actually, I need a piece of scrap, but we can do the sentiment after. We'll get back to that. Let's build this beautiful layer. So I decided, now you can rearrange these colors. So I decided to do 2 of the Magenta Madness, but imagine doing the blues in double or whatever. But the concept of me doing it this way is the blue, the Bumblebee, and the Just Jade. The Just Jade resembles the grass, the blue sky, and the sunshine. So that's why I did the sequence of the colors the way that I did. So sometimes you wonder what the thought process is with the creative, you know, the creative flow of, you know, what's your purpose? Why are you doing it that way? It would be cute doing it this way too, but we're going to stick with the dots because of the Easter eggs. So we're going to add our Tombow to the first strip. Now you know there is only going to be a very smidge of a border. So you're going to make sure that the border is equal for the first one you put down around all sides, okay? So it's like really maybe a 1/16 of an inch, okay? Go up to the other side, grab your other Magenta Madness. Sometimes it's hard to figure out positioning things so they're laying the way you want to with the same type amount of white in between. So go ahead and add some Tombow to the other and do the same thing to the other side with your Magenta Madness. So you just have that smidge of border of white, okay? Now you can go ahead and add the others. And there should be plenty of room for you to have that added space. The measurement of the strips, Tammy, they're 1 inch by 4. These strips here are 1 inch by 4. The basic white underneath is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And so we have this. I have to make sure that I'm putting all these measurements on my, when I'm sharing these, because these cards have to go somewhere, and if anyone places an order this week, I have to make sure I can have the measurements to redo these for your kits. So thank you for the reminder if I overstepped and forgot to, or I went ahead of myself, not really overstepped, got ahead of myself and didn't share that measurement. So I appreciate you guys so much every week, every day. I don't know what I'd do without all of you, to be honest. So we have that. That is all set. So now, I don't know how, some people are not fans of tearing paper, but I think it adds a little bit of, I don't know. I like it sometimes to go ahead and do that. So we're going to just tear, and actually when you tear these, you kind of want to make sure that they have kind of a creative edge, not just straight. So if it doesn't tear the way you're hoping, just add a few more tears in it. Come over here and, you know, add a little extra dimension, you know, so it's got some curve to it. And then you have an extra piece, so you can make 2 cards, honestly, with these leftovers. So just kind of come in, see which one you like the best. And I think I'm going to keep that one. And do the same with your Just Jade. Now this one I have to make sure doesn't interfere with my stamped images. So the best thing to do, let's move this out of the way for now, is to come in here and see that, you know, it's okay, right? I do have some shading I have to do for the basket. So I really want to come in and maybe tear a little bit more out of that area. Okay, and then I should have it right where I want it, okay? So before adhering these, so we have these pieces, we're all good there. Before adhering these, let's do our coloring. And again, I'm going to need the Bumblebee and the blender pen. Again, be very careful, as I stated previously, because you're using basic white paper and not watercolor or shimmer white. And I'm gonna show you what will happen if you continue to color, but not on my project, of course. So I'm gonna come in and just go around with the darker shade until it gets lighter. And if it doesn't get light enough, because I want it to kind of have a little bit of lightness on the other side, and it may not have come out the way I was hoping, but then just keep dipping your pen in the ink to get the color that you're hoping for. Just don't keep going over the same spots, okay? Don't forget his little wing. Now for his, let me grab a piece of scrap paper so I can explain this to you a little bit better. And I realize this is green, a just jade color, but if I were to keep coloring, you're going to see, look at that paper start to lift up. So that's why when you're using basic white or basic cardstock and not watercolor paper or shimmer white, you have to be very careful with blender pens because you can totally ruin your project. So just a little advice. Now I want to color his beak and his little hair, his little feathers up here with a kind of just an off color. I didn't want to go orangish, so I'm using the light cinnamon cider right there. So we got that, and that is going to tie in with the basket. So we're going to grab our light cinnamon cider and our dark, and I want to start with dark, and I'm going to use the brush tip and come in and kind of add some dark in these areas. Do you guys see the top of my head? I really hope not. Come in here. Just be careful you're not going out of the lines and into the eggs, because you want to color those with the other colors of, and then kind of blend out with the light, like so. Doesn't really show a whole lot of difference, does it? A little bit. If you want to lift some of that color, you certainly can. I'm going to leave it as is. And then come in with the dark for the other. I think what I did was use the chisel tip on the other one. You see it's a little bit lighter. Sometimes I find that the chisel tip is lighter, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be that way, but I think maybe because not as much ink is saturated in those tips. So just add the light over here. And there is your basket. And again, you can do some color lifting if it's not light enough like you're hoping in certain areas. I'm just going to brush it faintly to give it a little added lightness on that side. Okay, so it's almost like the light is coming this way because that side is lighter and that side of the chick is lighter. All right, so the next thing I want to do is grab all the light blends, and of course I already have some ink left on my tip here, so I'm going to color this one in the background, the bumblebee, and it's pretty light because I was just messing with it on that paper, and the other ones we'll go ahead and color with the light Misty Moonlight. I think before I had used the dark ones on the original. But we're just going to make a in-color basket of eggs. And I love this light magenta. It's so bright and pretty. Oh, just makes me smile. I see a spot that I left. Oh yeah, I totally used the dark in this one and the lighter ones in this one. How cute is that? I missed a spot on the basket, so let me just come in and dot that section. I missed it over here too. All right, so we have that done. But now I need to come in and I want to do some shading because they kind of look like, I learned this from Wendy. I can never remember her last name, if it's Crawford, Cranford, Canford. Either way, it's loveandstampin.com, and she is amazing, and I love listening to her because she is so, she keeps it real. But anyway, she taught in one of her blends when she was coloring with blends, that if you don't add some shadowing underneath, like you can see the shadowing underneath the chick and the basket, it kind of just looks like they're floating in air, you know? So I want to add a little bit of, and I'm going to hope that my ink is going to work. So I'm going to use a chisel tip. I need a new light smoky slate because the brush tip is toast and it's just not working. So you just come in, it doesn't have to be a lot, and just add a little bit of shading to make it look like there is a shadow there. Make sense? Maybe my shadow's going the wrong way because I want the light to come this way. I don't know, but either way, I added that just to give it an added, like to make it look like they're standing there and sitting there. You know what I mean? So is this the one I wanted to use? Yes. So now we can adhere these pieces. And thanks for sharing, Mary. I use a chalk pencil to lighten sometimes. Oh, that's a good idea. Cranford. Thanks, Valerie. I watch her all the time too, and I love all of her little things she shares with her dog. Truvy is her dog. Oh, so adorable. She's fun to watch, and I love it when her and her sister do some stuff together too. They're just, I don't know. They're kind of raw. They don't hold any punches, so and I love listening to that at times. It kind of keeps things real. So hi Robin, thank you. I miss all you guys on Monday night. I haven't had time on Mondays to join in on Celine's fun time in Zoom. It's been a little crazy during the week. I get exhausted because of work, and then I'm trying to do my own computer stuff on Monday nights so that I can get these videos out on YouTube. So know that I think of you guys often and miss joining in on that fun. I know there's several of you on here that may join in on Celine's Monday night Zoom. I was super excited because for the first time, I had a Zoom meeting. Well, it was not really a meeting with my team. We just were playing around with Zoom. So there we have that. Sky, sunshine, grass, cute little chick, and the Easter basket. Torn paper gives it a little bit of, you know, rustic kind of country feel. And now we can do our sentiment. And I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, Zoom. We were playing around on Zoom. I have to find a piece of scrap white because I don't have that handy. And we, oh, I have stuff everywhere. There's some. It's way too big, but that's okay. So we did Zoom, and I actually had done a mystery stamping with my team. Gave them 2 kind of instructions for sketch designs I found on Pinterest. And we just were practicing Zoom, and it was so much fun to do that and actually see people and be able to communicate, like talk verbally and not have you guys have to, you know, type out stuff. And, you know, you could still have those chats on there because we all know how Zoom works for the most part. And then I decided to do my Paper Pumpkin Club via Zoom this month, or in February as well. And it was so much fun. I saw so many creative things done by so many amazing people that were part of it. And I just can't wait to do it again. I'm so excited to incorporate Zoom into my business. So, okay, focus. We have 2 more projects to do. So we are going to I just need the words joy and Easter for the most part, and then we're going to cut those out. So I don't need the whole sentiment. So we've got that one, and I need Easter. So we'll stamp that on there. We're good. And now we can cut those out, and you can either cut them by hand or you can come in with your paper trimmer. And honestly, I am not even sure where my guillotine is right now, my little mini cutter. So let me grab my paper snips, and we're just going to cut these out. Can't be too hard, right? Hopefully I can cut in a straight line. So I am cutting out the Easter. Got that. We'll cut out the joy. And I'm really just cutting them roughly a straight edge around the entire thing. Just about the size of the word. No big deal. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You're hand cutting these words out. I don't expect perfection, especially when you're just using snips and not a straight edge type of cutter. So we have those. Move those aside. And then I am just going to come in probably with some glue dots and just adhere those to this piece. And then we can build the rest of our card. So we'll get some glue dots on here. I think originally I used the Tombow, but I think it will be easier for me to just mess with glue dots at this point. Add Easter there. And I keep forgetting that these are on the reverse side. And add the Joy just a little below that. Grab my In Color enamel dots. Yeah, Valerie, I really look forward to doing a class via Zoom. I think that would be a lot of fun as well. I keep thinking I want to do another retreat, but I'm not sure how to do that before the catalog retires, the main catalog. So I might just have to incorporate, I'm looking for my, there we go. I might just have to incorporate just stuff from the mini catalog so that I can have it in a month that I don't have to worry about stuff retiring. So I'm just gonna add, I'm all out of pink, or the magenta. You can see that if you're not careful with these, they separate. So I usually bend and have it pop off a little bit so I can get my pokey tool under there, my little take your pick tool. So that way they're not falling off of the color swatch that's underneath. So that's how I handle these. I know people had a hard time with them when they first came out, but if you're gentle, you shouldn't have that issue. So, all right, this gets layered on top of my little, Magenta Madness layer. Oh, that's cool, Melissa. Yeah, you have to branch out, especially with the sign of the times. If you're not going to do stuff online, it makes it hard for your business. And we're going to place this on top. Most of what I ever did online was these videos, and it wasn't, I wasn't consistent initially. Obviously, because I was just starting out with my online portion of trying to do demonstrations online. There's just a little smidge of the card base that peeks around the basic white, just so you know that. And this gets dimensionals. But I've learned since this pandemic and the the whole situation of social distancing and a few other things that I'm dealing with, that, not myself specifically, but definitely have to be safer in our household due to medical reasons. But I had to transform some things in my business, so I keep learning and trying to grow in that sense online. So it's pretty awesome. I enjoy it. Of course, make sure you're putting that on there the right way. And of course, you want a piece of paper to go on the inside, which I neglected to cut, and I did add that chick to the inside, so I'll do that again to this one. But I'm going to move on to the next card, but I'll make sure that I have that done before sending this to where it needs to go, and I'll also stamp the Angel Policy copyright on the back. So, all right, next project is pretty simple. It's that beautiful little sheep. Love, love, love. Not a whole lot of coloring, but how adorable is she? So stinking cute. I don't know what it is, if it's the expressions, if it's the flowers, I have no idea, but I love it. All right, so this one we're kind of doing in reverse. I have just jade ribbon, and it's probably about way too much, 22, 24 inches. Definitely don't need that much. If you can keep it on the roll, it probably will make it a little bit easier. I'm going to do this in, Bumblebee. Bumblebee is a cardstock that layers, and it is 4 by 5 1/4. Your card base is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, so that will layer on top of that. Your Just Jade cardstock is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and your basic white is 3 by 4, and that is all you need for this card, and some pearls, and of course your ribbon. So let's go ahead and stamp. We are not going to do any coloring other than on the flowers for the adorable little sheep. So we'll grab that sheep, and we're going to grab our Memento ink. Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, sometimes simple is just as amazing as doing something with a ton of layers. I mean, it's so clean and crisp, and you know, not a whole lot of product needed, to be honest. So for new stampers, beginner stampers, you know, a few embellishments and some cardstock and designer series paper, and you can make some of these cards really inexpensively. So I like to be sure that I show stamping for the beginner, casual, and avid stamper. So what we need, we'll set that aside. We can honestly just build this right now. We can add that to our card front. Now the 3D project definitely is not going to the merchant. I might give it to her as a little gift for all her hard work in selling my cards. But I can't wait to share that with you. It's so cute. All right, and then I want to come in, because this is the coordinating layer, is Just Jade, and I want to make sure that is flat on the inside and tie a bow over to the left. You could do it to the right if you wanted. Hold that down. All right, there's your bow. Kind of way off there. Just adjust those to the size you want. And go ahead and grab your ribbon scissors, which I don't have out. And I'm just going to angle this side as the other side is angled. So there's that. And this can be set aside, and now we can color our flowers. We're going to stamp that sentiment first in Just Jade. Actually, I did Just Jade because that. So let's stamp it in Bumblebee so that it coordinates with the background paper. But I do need to clean off. Oh yes, I just saw the prize for next week. I have to make sure that I announce what that is. Yes, the lamb is so adorable. Next week's prize, since I'm just over here reaching for stuff, let me just share with you. This is a retired scattered sequence dynamic textured impression embossing folder, which will work with the new machine. And since I use those blender pens, I'm going to give a set of blender pens away as well. Thank you, Gail Kostler, for donating to my Prize Patrol bin. These are compliments of her, so this is going to go in for the prize for sharing, commenting, you know, all that great stuff. So Jenny, hi, I don't know if you saw, but you won Prize Patrol from last week, so you have to message me and let me know your mailing address if I don't have that. Just private message me and I'll get it in the mail. So congratulations on that. I'm not sure if you noticed that earlier. I want to make sure that I'm stamping this the right way, and hopefully my label is on right. So I usually place my sentiment stamps on my block if they're not photopolymer. I set those on there crooked so that I am not lining up this to my card layer, because sometimes if I do that and my stamp's not on there straight, my sentiment will be crooked. Now, every time I tell you why I do this, I tend to fear the fact that my method is not going to work correctly. So this way I am lining, if my sticker's on right, I am lining the words up to the top of the paper. Cross your fingers that I'm not lying to you. And it stamps totally crooked right now, but you know the concept. That's the method to my madness, as long as my sticker is on straight. So, craziness. But that's okay. It'll be fine. Someone's going to fall in love with this card and it's not going to make a bit of difference. All right, let's color those flowers. Now, since I am coordinating, now here's the thing. I know, like, I coordinated the flowers on the original to the paper that it layered on, but I don't want to make my flowers just jade because the leaves are going to be just jade. So I'm going to stick with that, coloring with my blender pen in the bumblebee. So just come in and color those, and don't go over too many times because you don't want to make your paper pill, if that's even the word you use. And just keep dabbing it in your ink. You're not going to harm your ink pad. It's just like water or something on the tip of this. These things last forever, and you can interchange them with color because you can clean them just by wiping them clean. I've had to do that before. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to use the dark jade for my leaves. I probably should use the chisel or the blunt tip, but we'll be okay as long as I don't get too carried away and color outside the lines. It really is so adorable, these little creatures. The lamb and the bunny, they're so cute. And of course the chick. Alright, so this will get adhered to this. I'm kind of bummed that that sentiment is crooked, but I don't want to start over, so we'll be okay. Grab your Tombow. And I knew that was going to happen the minute I started telling you the method of my madness. That's just how it goes. Facebook Live, whoops. But that's why we stamp on, we have two sides to stamp on. So I could have taken the time to do that, but we're good. We are so good, right? So got that lined up. And this gets dimensionals. And I did really well keeping track of stuff for about 5 minutes, right? I'm just going to add a couple. So funny. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. I'm sure it's super cold by now. It actually doesn't look too bad, right? And there you go. And do you know when you add ribbon like this can become a gift card holder. So you could tuck a gift card in there. So there is that adorable card. Oh, forgot to do the shadowing. So let's add that shadowing so it's not looking like that little sheep is kind of floating in midair. Just add that shadow. Thank you, Wendy, for teaching me to do that. Now it looks as if it's standing on the ground with the light hitting it and a little bit of shadowing. So there you go. I'll stamp the back of those as well when I'm through. And this is, and I need to add something more, which I'm going to do. I'm going to add something more to this. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? Hold on, we're not done with that. We need some of our pearls to put in the center of those flowers. So the tiniest pearls go in the center of those beautiful flowers, just to give it an added sweetness. There. See? Cute. Very cute. All right, now that's done. Okay, so this is, and I'm going to add a couple extra things because this was the last project I worked on last night and I was getting tired. But how adorable is this little thing? And these cute little carrot Lindt chocolates. They're milk chocolate with hazelnut. So, my kids have nut allergies, so I'm either going to have to give these to my husband or give them away or whatever, or eat one. But they're cute. They come in, I found these in Walgreens, but I've seen them in other stores. There's 4 in a pack, and it's so cute. But I think I need to add some flowers to it, so I'm going to do that as well. So that's where I'm tying in pumpkin pie and the granny apple green to color the flowers on the bunny. This bunny is super simple. We're not doing hardly any coloring. We're just going to outline it a little bit with the Smoky Slate light marker blends. And it's really super simple to assemble. So let's grab our kit. You need a piece of cardstock that is 11 by 2 inches. 11 by 2 inches. You need a piece of designer series paper of your choice. I chose this from the Forever Greenery, and that is 3.5 by 1 3/4. I have already stamped the bunny, so hopefully we don't have any bleeding. Already stamped. And I have this piece that is 1 3/4 inch square, okay? Now, the first thing I want to do is grab that delightful tag topper punch, and I'm going to feed this in. We are going to have to do some scoring. It's super simple. Feed that in, make sure it's in there even, and punch out that decorative edge, okay? Grab your scoring tool, and the piece of paper I wrote this on is gone. So we're gonna hope that I score this in the right spot. It was really super easy. You put the tag topper punched end towards the top of your scoring tool. Score at 5, 6, 8, and 9. Again, 5, 6, 8, and 9. Done. Super simple. And you can make these so quickly if you have what you need. Now, I don't have a lot of circle punches, so I had to get creative, which is a good thing, right? When you're a demonstrator. And, you know, when you love to craft, get creative. I'm just going to varnish all those edges, okay? So now you have this. Now, when I fold this into each other, I need a hole here. Well, I don't have like a 3/4 circle punch. I had one, it broke. They don't sell them anymore. You could use a different size, but what I decided to pull in, which I have done before, is one of the O's from the Playful Alphabet dies. No lie. So I want to pull in my stamp, cut, and emboss machine, and it's actually where you want to put that hole is on the very first, so not the tag end, it's this very first 1 inch section, okay? So you don't have a magnetic platform, that is okay. I'm going to show you how to improvise and grab a piece of washi tape and or a Post-it. I'm just going to grab a little piece of washi tape if you have some in your stash from previous years when Stampin' Up! Had washi tape, and just adhere that down to where I want that cut in the center of that piece, and hopefully you're seeing this okay. Now I'm going to grab my top plate that is already curved and dented and whatever, and I'm only going to run this through until that cuts, because I don't want all that crazy indentation of stuff that I've done with my plate to get on the reverse side, because you can see after you use your plates a lot, it kind of gives an impression of all those things that you've cut. So I don't want that to run all the way through, because this is going to be decorated and I don't want that impression there. Okay, so this can be set aside. That was really simple to do. Again, if you have a punch or another circle that's going to work for you, then by all means use that. Be gentle pulling your washi tape up. And I'm just going to set that die aside for now. And we are going to build this, and you are going to be absolutely amazed. I am going to put, so now you know it's going to adhere like this, okay? Now you can decorate it first. No big deal. You can certainly do that. You can do the stamping. And actually, let's go ahead and do that. Let's do our stamping. We've already stamped that. We'll get to that last. This needs to be punched with that punch. Now, this is not the same size as what will fit in there. So what you need to do is feed it in there and make sure it's positioned evenly, because there is no slit to guide you for the size of this paper. Okay? And now that piece will have a slight border on these two sides. So you can go ahead and adhere that. Just make sure you're adhering it to the right side. Nope. And the glue has escaped and is everywhere. All right, so now that doesn't belong there. Line that up to where the other hole is punched and kind of move it around so it's where it needs to be. I'll pick this up so I can work with it easier. And there you have that, okay? So you have that section on there. I have some glue there that I don't want right there, so I'm just going to do that. I'm going to sip my coffee. Yes, Melissa, you're right. For that one card, I probably will do that. I'll make a tag and fix that before I send it down there. Cheryl, did you order this set? Yes, it's fun. It's fun and it's inexpensive and you can do so much with it. It's just awesome. And I can totally see Lisa making gifts for kids at school if she's allowed to do that for Easter. Not sure how the school is handling stuff like that right now with COVID. So, all right, so now I want to include flowers on here because I didn't do that originally. So I'm going to use the flower that I haven't used yet, and then we've used every single stamp in this set. It's nice when that happens. Just find a little, we'll use this one, so that's like a daisy. And Memento ink. We'll go ahead and stamp the flower here like so. And we need the sentiment Welcome Spring. So I'm going to need to clean that with my Stampin' Scrub. If you guys are not familiar with Stampin' Scrub, if you're new to watching. Thanks for watching, Valerie. Good to see you. Enjoy your week. There's a raindrops here and there's sun here. This is the wet side. This is the dry side. You scrub here, dry there. So that's how that works. And there's a spray that you can get with it. Okay, so if you have a preference to that versus the what am I trying to say? What is it called? Your chamois, your Stampin' Chamois. All right, because I'm trying to use colors that coordinate with this cute little carrot, I chose Pumpkin Pie and the Granny Apple Green. So I want to stamp Welcome Spring differently. Like I want Welcome Spring not all across there. I mean, I guess I could, but I wanted it layered. So I'm only going to stamp the welcome and hope that that's all I get on there. You can do masking. So welcome. Please let this work. Okay, clean that off again. Oh, that's cool. Pre-packaged. You can take stuff into the kids. That's good. So they're not missing out on everything. I like that. So this is perfect. This kind of stuff is perfect. So I'm only inking the word spring and the exclamation point. I'm just going to make sure that's all I got. And I'm just going to stamp the spring right lower and hope that we're good. Oh, it worked. Yay. All right, so we got that. Put that away. And now all we have to do is color. And I'm going to need, I don't need that anymore. We'll grab our Just Jade. And nope, we don't want Just Jade because we're using these colors. All right, so I want to color my leaves in Granny Apple Green. And I'm using the Granny Apple Green Dark. So there's that. I will color this flower in Dark Pumpkin Pie. Okay, so that's all set, and now we can color this. So for these, the larger flowers I colored in the Dark Pumpkin Pie. So I'm going, this is like totally off topic. Dinner. Do you guys struggle with coming up with different things for dinner? I'm like so tired of eating the same things for dinner. A lot of times because I'm in such a hurry to move on to something else that I have to get done at night, besides sleeping. Seem to be sleeping a lot lately. So, and then the leaves I'm going to color again with the Granny Apple Green. I'm looking for new ideas for dinner. What are you guys having for dinner tonight? I'm like struggling with that. Need new ideas. All right, so I'm just going to come in with the light smoky slate, and I'm just going to outline the rabbit, or the bunny rabbit. I'm going to color the rabbit's feet. And kind of go around the flowers and the ears. I'm just adding a hint of color. And the arm, cute little arms. And little, like that. Okay. Now I'm going to take my blend, my color lifter, and I'm just going to kind of blend that out. It's not going to show like a lighter color of this. It's just going to soften those straight edges so that it's not looking like I just went around and outlined the whole thing. You know what I mean? It's just going to soften those lines. And sometimes it blends some of that color out to give it a little softer hue throughout where you just did that, but it really just softens those lines that I created. Just really simple blending technique. So now we're going to fussy cut him out. Really simple to do so. I don't need to do any of those shadows because he's just not going to have anything around him. And we are going to be done shortly. I've been doing a lot of sheet pan dinners lately, easy to do with little attention. What are they? Yeah, I hear you, Lori. I can't stand planning dinners. I go to the grocery store and I'm like, it's like a blank slate. We end up buying stuff that we don't even need half the time because I'm terrible with writing a list. I'm terrible with keeping coupons. It's just, I don't know. I struggle. We have like those certain things we revert to, and I'm getting tired of them. Love breakfast for dinner, but it's very messy. A lot of dishes involved with that. And I mean, we love stuff we shouldn't be eating, like Stouffer's mac and cheese and stuff like that. But you know, even that gets old. You know, I don't know. A lot of times we eat for convenience, and it's not the healthiest way to be eating. Now, I could eat roasted Brussels sprouts with almond slivers cooked with olive oil and green onions for days. Love the flavor of Brussels sprouts when they're roasted. I mean, I could honestly eat those for days, but not everybody in the house likes them. And we've had pork chops, we've had, I don't know, I just don't know. I'm gonna have to come up with something because I'm over it. It's just not fun. Sometimes I wish I had a chef, but we all know how that goes. Okay, so now we know that this folds in. This is gonna be the piece that needs this decoration on it. So we can go ahead and adhere that. Oh, I'm so excited I added the flower to this one. So needless to say, it's grocery shopping day, so I need to figure out something decent for dinner. I'm going to place an order so I can get the projects for the measurement, but have trouble with the host code. PM later so we can figure this out. Lisa, we'll talk about that. Okay, so this little bunny is probably going to cover up my spring, so that's probably why I did that way. But we're going to find a way to make this work. Yes, we are. Maybe I need to put him up there. He could go up there, right? Next to the carrot. Well, okay, let's finish assembling. So we need some adhesive here. So let's grab the Tombow. And I'm going to fold that over so it adheres. Make sure it's adhering straight. I just had a ubu. Thank God for Tombow. So there you have that. Grab your little candy out of your pack. I don't know how much these cost. I don't remember. But keep in mind they are hazelnut. I know you can find other carrot candies that I used last year. I don't necessarily know if they fit there, but be careful of people's allergies. You definitely have to watch out for that. Now, I can either put this little bunny here, or I'm going to find a way where he can still be right here. And I think I can somehow get him right there. I like him on the side. I wonder if he can go by the flower. I like him on the side, and I should have been more cautious as to where I placed that. Let's get a dimensional on his lower body. Actually, I'll put a dimensional right there, and we'll be good to go. We're going to figure this out. Even if he's just adhered with one little dimensional down here, and it's okay if I cover the exclamation point, right? Absolutely. That looks decent. So there you go. There is our welcome spring little treat holder. How cute is that? Love, love. Alrighty, so there's that one. I definitely need to add a flower on that one. Let's come in with our other little creations. And hopefully you can see all those. Kind of crazy mess right now, but I'm so excited that I was able to share 4 projects with you today. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to flip the camera so that we can say a little goodbye and see you later. And oh, that didn't even go outside, did it? Oh, because I flipped it before I turned it. How funny is that? Phew, I look like I've been through a whirlwind. Okay, anyway, I'm so excited that you were all here with me today. Thank you so much for sharing my creative time with me. And anyone who has questions about the project shared here today, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to give you further instructions. Lisa, we will be talking for sure. And many blessings to all of you. Enjoy your week. And I have no idea what I'm going to be working with next week, but it's probably going to incorporate the end colors that are leaving. So I'll look forward to sharing some more creativity with you then. See you soon. Bye.